Pleasant good morning, radio listeners. Welcome to your favorite program on Saturday morning, Sports Forum. I'm Antonio Venturin in the studios here with you on PJD2 102.7 FM and 1300 AM. And we are live on the air with your favorite program. As I said before, I want to thank all the regular listeners for listening in and send out some shout out to all those people who meet me on a weekly basis and tell me that they're in tune to the program. This morning, we're going to be talking basketball. We're going to take you down a trip down memory lane. So we're going down memory lane. So all those basketball fans, all those basketball fanatics, get close to your radio, call your friends, call your family, tell them basketball, history of basketball. We're talking this morning with some legends in basketball on Sint Maarten. With me in the studios is none other than the legendary Mr. Marty Williams. Marty, come a bit closer to the microphone and say pleasant good morning to the radio listeners out there.
Very pleasant good morning to all your listeners. Nice to be here again. Thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure.
Hey, we like to have all the greats back with us more than once. You know, you got a track record on Sint Maarten, so one interview ain't enough with you.
Appreciate that.
All right, and the first time in the studios with us, this is the man back in the days. We could hear back in the, but this is the man from the Trotters later on. I can't remember what it, but we know this man came into the league very dominant with the Trotters out of Soccer Garden back in the days. None other than David Brooks. David, pleasant good morning. Come a bit closer to the microphone.
Good morning to everyone. Shout out for all the beautiful fans that we had out there before. Sorry that we are not playing like we used to anymore, but these legends that you are going to hear now, we're going to
bring back the memories. Now, David, I could throw in a question because you ever had a nickname in basketball? Because I couldn't find your nickname nowhere.
Definitely.
What was your nickname in basketball? Come closer to the microphone.
If Cream don't ball out, Shank something wrong.
Okay.
Was his nickname.
Okay.
I have no idea where you get it from, but
Listen, you can tell us about that nickname sooner. And you heard it already. David announced it in the studios with us. First time, man. We've been trying to get this guy for the longest of while. On the radio stations with us is none other than man himself, Joseph Hallman, a.k.a. The Cream. Cream, welcome to the program.
oh, good morning to the radio listeners out there, and many thanks for that wonderful introduction. I love how you put out, make me really feel like a legend. So to the listening radio fans out there, we want to say good morning and hope you will enjoy the program as we take you way back in time, to tell you how we come about
All
playing
right.
basketball.
So there you have it, radio listeners. Tune in. You got to stay tuned, locked in tune for the duration of this program because we're talking to three of the best basketball players that ever walked the face of Sint Maarten here. David, what's his nickname? Was Shank? What? Shank. Wow, that sounds like a knife. You used to cut hard. That sounds like a knife. You used to hit some daggers in the heart, then with the ball. David, tell us a bit about yourself. When did you start playing basketball?
I was 14 years old? Yeah. That's when I really started. I started on a dot field.
On a dot field?
Yeah.
Wow.
We just put up a bicycle rim, put a piece of board on it, on the Thorn tree right there in Soccer Garden. And the old guy around there used to always tell us, you make sure you don't hurt yourself. You had fellows like Juni Violinos.
Juni Violinos, that name sounds familiar. That was the girl's the nickname, the legal nickname, because some people they don't recognize. That was he passed away.
Yeah, he had passed away from a very young age also. Actually, he was my power guard. He was one of the best, smoothest players I ever seen. When it come on that baseline, it was like, hey, you don't even got to look at that ball.
His nickname was something started with a D. I can't bring it there right now.
I can't remember his nickname. Then you had Errol Baptiste.
Errol, okay.
You had Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, that's Alex Hodge. That's my brother-in-law, man.
And then you got Milton, better known as Barley.
Okay.
You know, we guys we take it to a level after when you got a man like Cream, Marty Williams, and then they're telling you, hey, you all little young boys and why you just start on the side, man, you're gonna take all your home. And then you're gonna hear Junie tell me, David, I'm a sick man, I can't play. Now, remember, I said, hey, listen, I don't want you playing too hard. What I want you to do is when you see I lapse in, you cost me.
Okay. So you guys started off in Soccer Garden on a
Dot road, yeah.
with a basketball rim. I think most everybody started off like that. Besides the Tongue fellas, because Creamer, I had a good coat in Tongue. Where you started playing basketball, man?
That's not true.
No.
I started off and my father-in-law yard. Actually, yeah, we had we also did put up a bicycle rim in the back of the yard, and there we started out. But it had a little slope, so you could run down and you could dunk the ball. So, so that was our bread and butter. Don't forget, even though it had a court, you have to be a certain level to play on the court.
Okay.
At that time, it was Freddie and Frankie. Those guys came off.
Those were the older guys.
Yeah, they were the more advanced guys at that time. And
True.
when we did go on the court, we used to have to stay in the corner, and you improve from there on a makeshift rim also. And basically they would like scout you, and they were like, okay, I think you good enough.
Cream ready to come on now.
You want to play with us?
Yeah.
But you only get the opportunity hoping that the other guys didn't come. So that was me. I hoping Dookie don't come, so then that would be my chance to get on. So they don't have enough people to say, hey, Cream, come play with us. And then you would go over, and that's the way you would move up. And you would, if the more games you could win,
The longer you stay.
So, but I think basically, all of us started out with a little, makeshift rim. Because, that time basketball was in infancy here. And we basically was just copycat. We just looking at it and just trying to mimic what we see on television when we get a chance to see it.
When you see television, you get a
When
chance.
we do get a chance to see it on TV.
All right.
So, that's the way we started out as well.
So, Marty, tell us about your starting out days. We know you were here already. You started out.
Basically, I lived in Seville, born and raised in Seville, and I went to Saunders when I was like 7, 8 years old. And I started playing baseball actually. And at 9, I left to go to the States, and that's when I started playing basketball. The same thing in the backyard, just playing with guys, and my cousin said, man, you look like you got some skills, so talked to the school coach, and then I ended up on the school team, and from there I went from grade school straight to high school playing ball.
All right. So now you returned to Sint Maarten from the U.S. In what year? You can remember that year that you returned?
A lot of people, I was going to say 79.
79.
78, 79, yeah.
And when you came back, you had a place, you put the place on fire, because basketball went to another level with Marty. You could remember those days when you returned to the island.
Yeah,
And
a lot of people, I myself don't remember, people tell me a lot of stories, that's how I actually. But basically I just came back to Simpson Bay. Bobby Hartley and the BBW Giants were, I think that was maybe the first or second year playing ball. And Rastobia, my neighbor, don't you come play some ball with us?
Nelson Berry.
Yes, sir. So I told them, okay, no problem. Went up by the school. They used to play in the Regina School at that time. Thanks to Miss Claire Peterson, who gave us permission to set up a rim. Those guys made welding, Sam Peterson welded up rims, everything, put up everything themselves. So Bobby Hartley told me, I said, watch the guys practice, and you're going to practice with the junior team next. So, they practiced, the junior team started practicing, he put me on the side, he said, come. So you sit down here with these big
You get promoted one time.
At that time, Key Richardson was on the team, Dolfo, Canagito, David Gomes, those kind of people.
Leo Peters.
Exactly.
Leo Peters was strong in those days.
So, then the first game I remember playing was against the Traitors, and Dookie told me that, I think that beat him the first game, that he needed some help. So I think we won that game, and that was like a championship celebration. The one game we played, everybody celebrating. I'm just like, that's just a game.
In those days, it was big to
But
beat the
then
traitors.
What happened is I came to town the day after, walked through front street, and then I realized what was going on. Because everybody stopped me on the road. I saw the game last night. I finally beat the traitors. Blah, blah, blah. And that's how basketball was in those days. Because everybody spoke about basketball. No matter where you went on the island, the game the night before, people would stop you and want to talk about the game. And I mean, that was the hype.
Saito traitors were big back in the days, man. David Brooks, let's get back over to you because you guys came in the league with the first time with the Trotters, or you played with any other team before that?
Actually,
Come a little closer to your
actually,
microphone
the
so we
team-
could get our voice on
Actually, the
documented.
team had me Dr. J Brothers first.
Dr. J Brothers.
Wow.
Wow.
You forgot? You forgot that? You remember that year too? We played 1 year with the small guys with that team. And we did clean up the whole of the small
Oh, you
team.
became champs.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
time. And we decided we're not playing the small guys no more. We want the big guys.
But that's after Rebels had left, right?
Huh?
That's after Rebels
had
had left.
already.
Okay.
Rebels
We got establish a good timeline.
Rebels
Otherwise,
was-
again, problems with cream there.
Rebels was the first team we had played.
Mm-hmm.
When we had played Rebels, we had need Diablos. From Sagagadi, the whole team was from Sagagadi.
Okay. In those days, it was basically districts.
Yeah,
A lot
districts,
of districts.
right. And the honest team used to make us look small was Rebels.
Uh-huh.
And when they leave now, we take over. And when we started to play, I tell the guys, we too advanced for the smaller teams. He said, but we younger than these fellas here. I said, I'm the oldest in the team. Junie said, you think we could make it? I said, well, I don't understand, probably got Rebels, you know. If we could come over Rebels, we come over anything. When we come up, top Rebels, Bamboo on one side laughing at me, Cream on the other side, you come from no licks. I was like, wow. Boy, and my team watching me pull me now in the middle of the mix because they're expecting me to do more. And I didn't have a choice.
You can remember some of the names of some of the teams that were in the league that time when you first started off. You can remember in the junior league when you started off with the Dr. J Brothers.
But we still had Trickers. We had
Trickers was out of St. Peter's.
Yeah, we had Bullets still. Bullets was
Okay, Bullets with the boys with Red Alcatong. Huh?
They had the team from the region, you could say, with Gerald James and all of them. Can't remember the name of it. And then we had the guys them from Colby, which was under the name of from all yourself.
Oh, Striders.
Striders.
BBW.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I won't tell you no lie, all of us was playing some ball there. But then it was because of, I gotta say, because of Cream, Marty, Bamboo, Fermin. I learned a lot from them. What I did was I could have take from Cream power. I learned to adapt to power. Then I could have take from Marty shooting. Then I could have take from Bamboo block shots. Then I take a little piece off of Fermin, and that was just to make myself a real powerhouse. Now when I play in the zone, it was like dominating. I know now I have to play speed, power, and smartness. That was Marty. You have to know when and when not to. It was very touchy. Then I remember him telling me, Cream telling me, you can't play ball sitting on home all day. You either get up and train or don't train at all. Then
Get up and train or don't train at all.
Correct. I asked him more than once. Remember that day on the court downtown? I said, what are you talking about that? He said, when you're down there, you're playing good. We want to pick you and put you with the big fellas, but when you're playing against us, you're scared. You're scared. You remember? I went outside on the long wall, sit down. When I sit down there, I started to cry. God, now I got Cream to deal with, Joe to deal with,
Who's the
Bamboo to deal
mailman?
with, Fermin to deal with, big fellas, you know. And I tall and thin, but strong. And I sit down there and started to cry. Bamboo come out, he said, but what you crying for? I said, because I know how to play Ayo. Bamboo say, get up your backside on Saturday morning, come down on the court. All in. I said, Bamboo boy, how you want me to do that? He said, you just run. You think we don't see you running? You just run. He said, so come down on the court very early in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, down there, Bamboo come over. He said, come, pose here. Stand up right there and pose. And he started to show me some things. Now, I ain't training with my team. I started training with these guys, them learning different type of playing. And I remember one day, boy, Bamboo tell me, I will put you to play against Joe. Oh my God.
Joe was the mailman.
Yeah, he was the mailman. That was like a tractor you're dealing with. You don't know how to play him. He's so powerful. Anyhow, when I sit down there, I realized that the guys that was naturally pushing me to a different level. I didn't know what was for. I didn't try to ask questions. I just tried to do what they asked me to do. And then Freddie brother, Frankie, he come up there, my son there. He said, I want to coach you. The fellas them come around me. They said, what do you think there? I said, he said, you want to coach us. We could learn from these older guys because they are there for that. And Frankie started showing us a lot of fundamental, something that we was lacking. We knew the game, but we didn't know the fundamental.
All right. Hold your thoughts for a few minutes. Let's go over to Cream. Go ahead.
You know you're right about that. The fundamentals, you know when the fundamentals really came into play is when Marty and Freddie and all those guys came to the island, because we were just seeing something and just
Playing it.
mimic, but we didn't have the basic fundamentals, so we were basically playing off of natural strength. I remember the first time I played against Marty team, and they was calling out plays, and I was like, what? The guys calling plays on us, and we ain't got a clue what's going on. So they would call like 1, 2, and I remember Marty would go high-low and then come up and pop that shot. I said, boy, this man playing fundamentals. And you know what I said to them? No, what we got to do is use our strength, and our strength was run and gun.
Run and gun basketball.
Run and gun basketball, man. That was my favorite. Bamboo said, Cream, the minute the ball hit the net, just go. and after we started to look at that, and we also learn, because, you know, as a people, human being, you're always learning. If you're willing to move forward, you got to be open to learning.
Correct.
And even though he was not on our team, we see something that we never saw before.
Yeah.
We saw organized basketball. And then we start to go to the court when they're training and look at them a little. You know, they can't put me on the court because
everybody
intended to be in the court. And then we start to, you know, introduce basic fundamentals to our game. And then after Dan and Bobby realize, okay, look, these guys are talented, but now we have to mold that talent. How we gonna mold that talent? They started to bring in coaches like Coach Graham. I think the first coach they brought in was McDuffie, if my memory.
McDuffie, correct.
Yeah, and once he came in and started to teach you the fundamentals, you realize that the game is so much easier if you know what you're doing. You know? And when I add that to my game, I become a less selfish, and I realize, oh my God, it made the game so much easier. But still, boy, I never gonna get a decent shot like Marty. So what? He had one, you know, look, I'm not gonna lie, he have one prettiest shot. If three-pointer line was around then, wow, man, he was
a 3-point king.
Yeah, so that
he used to take advantage of that and smile at you. He used to actually watch you smile. Come.
Marty, how it is hearing all these.
He was a bad man.
He was dominant.
I'm appreciative, it's good to hear. At least while you're alive, you get people talking good about you, because these days, only when you're dead, people talk good about you. So I appreciate that. But the feeling is mutual, and these are the guys that push me to get up 5 o'clock in the morning to go train. Finish work 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock back on the court again to train. So, those kind of things. And I never really played the juniors here. But I remember doing drills on the court, and the younger guys just standing around watching drills. And then I would go.
Yeah, I used to be there, but
I'd be
present.
before a game, and I'd see them doing the same drills before the game, and I'd be like, okay.
We used to be there.
Yeah.
Present,
Remember
watching.
one time, Ronnie Jacobs was because all those guys started playing ball in Simpson Bay. And most of the Kobe fellas used to come down.
But he himself used to play, man.
Yeah.
You used to have to run from Colby or walk from Colby.
Remember, he ran the mic there, but he tried to be a little shy on us. He used to take advantage too.
Yeah, but those days, like Cream said, the fundamentals started to raise the level of the game that we started to play, and then the competition level was high because, like you said before,
Correct.
most of the teams were district teams. So when EBW Giants, which is Colvin, seems to be playing against Town, St. Peter's College is rammed out, cars packed all over the place, and people coming in trucks and walking. I don't remember the Weaver girls and walking from Town straight South Ward and back down. And they always had these cans with rocks in them.
Yeah, the soda can.
Noise, whistle blowing, you can't hear no noise, You can't stop because, yeah.
So how was your first game? 1 minute, David. What your first team that you played for, Cream? Your first team that you played for was?
No. Everybody figured that I used to play for Goldies Eagles. I never played for Goldies
Okay.
Eagles. I used to be around them, but the team was full, so I never did get on the team. So we decided, and some of the guys who never used to get enough playing time, decided, something, let me farm our own little team.
Okay.
And I always play with Rebels. And then it had a time, I think, during our later years, when I started the veterans, I asked Rebels if they was coming out, and they say, nah, they was not sure. And I played, I think, that one season with Trickers.
Yes.
With Trickers.
Okay.
And to my disbelief, Rebels, they said they wasn't coming out. They came out that same year. I was like, are you serious? But I done committed to Trickers. And they put a beating on me. I'm like, man.
You can remember when you started off in Rebels with in those days?
Let me see from the top of my head. I'm going to go through some of them. It was Tony, Steve, Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey.
We had
which Mikey is that?
Mike Gums from St. Peter's.
Okay.
You know Tony Gums? He was a teacher. He used to work with us at G.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
His brother. And then, believe me, we had Hendy.
Hendy Ford
played with us. We had God bless him and rest him. We had what a young man in name Stuart
Engels.
Stuart Engels played with us. We had Roland. We had
Chumalau.
Yeah, better than us Chumalau. Oh boy, Matty, biggest nightmare.
You can tell us about that just now. You have a good point here.
We had who else? I'm missing anybody? I don't miss anybody. I say Bamboo.
Claret, I think you missed Claret.
Oh my God, how could I miss
Flash?
The Flash man.
I when you start to call names, you're just
You're up in trouble, but
Clarence came on board after. Then Neville also did join us after. Hillary used to coach us. I hope I'm not missing nobody. Fellas, if I forget anybody,
don't feel upset.
in my advanced age, man, allow me to forget.
Well, let's just apologize in advance later to do no betrays. If we miss anybody, it wasn't intentional. It was not
So there's a few
intentional.
of the guys that even Alex, what you used to call Paga, he played with us. So.
All right. Well, radio listeners, if you just joined us, of course, you're in tune to Sports Forum on 102.7 FM and 1300 AM PJD2. I'm Antonio Venturin in here with you, and we're talking basketball with three legendary basketball players. I grew up watching all these players here. Marty Williams, we used to sit on the side and watch him practice and then try to mimic his shot. You couldn't mimic that three-point shot because you had a special release, man. You still have the release?
Finishing touch, boy.
And David in those days, Davis was one of the tallest players on the field, coming out of one of the young guys coming up with the Trotters. And Cream, don't talk about the Cream. I think Cream was one of the first guys I ever saw dunk in a game, man. He was one of the first I saw dunk in MPC in a game. And listen, I don't think I even see the dunk. I see the movement, and afterwards everybody tell me a dunk. And we talk about that for months because those days, I mean, it wasn't common. But the competition was fierce in those days. You had all the guys. You had Rebels. You had Saito Traitors. You mentioned a while ago Felmin, but Felmin came on the scene afterwards because Felmin came with
Tigres.
Tigres. Okay.
Junior Gums and Photo Gums brought a whole team.
Yeah.
In the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And most of them ended up staying, so they just formed a team here. But a lot of those guys were amateur,
semi-pros. Huh?
So when they came, they raised our level even more. In those days, we also had Bobby would bring Ansel from Aruba, and Don would bring some guys from St. Kitts, and
Competition was fierce.
especially for the last time, we always had imports. People were always importing players.
How it was because I don't think Rebels ever brought in any players. Trotters didn't bring in any players. How it was playing against those guys coming from abroad, because I know when Ansel came in, now you had moved on then to, I think, ball medalers in Yunduki.
Yeah. Ian Duque had left, and the thing with that is I had his uniform, so he had to come by me to get his uniform. So I didn't know him at that time. I just heard about him, And guy knocking on my door, and hey, Bobby sent him for a uniform.
Ansel.
So I gave him a uniform, and we played against him the next game, and he wore the uniform backwards. I'm like, what are you wearing the uniform backwards for? I said, because you had it on. So he didn't want to wear the uniform because I had it. But we ended up a good rivalry, with shot for shot, and then we ended up good friends after that. Up to today, I still talk to him, so it was all good. The competition
was vicious.
But you know what's good about that, right? Even though the competition was fierce, after the games, it was like you won't believe that these guys just pound on each other, push each other out the field. It was amazing, to see the respect that remained after the game.
I think what had a little bit to do with that too, because a lot of us played on the national team together.
Not only that, I want to say that
we always had dealings with each other, differently than basketball. So even after we finished playing Rebels, and then my girlfriend lived in Fort Will, and I have to walk back.
I have no choice.
So I have to walk, and all those guys sitting on my Gil was talking about.
They're moving.
But not only that, because remember Milton Peter was like our home, Actually, when you finish play ball, you see everyone walking out together, and you will hear Cream. They taught you to get away today. Then you hear Bamboo. Man, I put on that block and you get frightened. You hear Marty on the other side, boy, tomorrow coming back for you, But we used to do it in a way where you go the next day and you train. You train extra hard just for that next game. And when you come out there with fire in your eyes. Sometimes I would hear Cream, and I could hear it loud. Don't give him a chance to get that ball in his hand. If he get that ball in his hand, you can't stop him in the zone. Don't give him that ball. Hey, when you look, you got a fella like, as he said, Truman. He was like a dog.
A while ago.
Let's go to Chumala. Roland Catty. He was a defensive specialist. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't think Chumala ever take more than 2 shots in a game.
But Chumala, he was a specialist. When he take his shot, make 2 or 3 shots. I'm looking out for Chuma. I know the buzzer gonna buzz because Chuma coming in the game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll tell you one thing.
First thing he's gonna do,
he used to pick each shot.
Stick his elbow.
Wow.
I'm in the game.
He's a real David Rodman.
You know what?
That was
Dennis
special.
Rodman, sorry.
You know what he used to say?
But I was never dirty, eh? Not never dirty, but
He would come and he always would push up onto you.
yeah.
He would push his lower body
Make
up
you
onto
feel
you.
uncomfortable.
To put you off
balance.
throw you off balance.
Yeah.
And then once he get you off balance, he would laugh, you know. And I was like, boy,
Tease
Chuma,
you,
use
yeah.
something else, boy. But that was it. You know what I forgot to mention? And mine just come to mind is Clem. Because of
Clement
mentioning Chuma so much, Clem just come to mind. So Clem and Bamboo, man, you all just come back to my mind. So, but talking about training, we used to train, if the team in training, you was obligated to go out on an individual base and put in some kilometers on the road. I remember, you just used to see guys without a team, just run around DV, come up Bellier. You do 2-3 laps there, and then after you go on the court, you sprint. We used to put in the work because we wasn't the most talented bunch of guys. We had,
Yeah, we found that out when
Yeah.
we started to travel.
yeah.
You know, when we started to go to teams.
But what we used to make sure that we're in good shape, because sometimes, right, if you're in good shape, sometimes the most skillful guys, you could take them out.
Yeah.
And I remember that's what we used to base on. Look, fellas, stay in shape, because especially when you come up against teams like Marty, which is you had BBW, Giants, and all of those things. El Tigres, those teams was grounded. Those teams were fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
So our way of beating them, it was just run them down the ground till they're tired, and then make them like, okay, look, they're gonna play the next game. We're not do that with Rebels again. Because I used to take joy and pride to look over the next bench and see everybody like wondering.
Hanging the head down.
Yeah, and once I see you hanging your head, okay, this is the time for we to just close this game off, you know. So it's
You can remember how much times Rebels win the championship, because Rebels won the if I'm not mistaken, somewhere we read in the champion, if I'm not mistaken, Rebels won the junior division, and then they moved up one time to the senior division as the first.
That's the way it used to be back in those days.
Yeah.
If the junior team won the championship, they would automatically move up to
You have
the
to
A.
move
Okay,
up.
you have to move up.
You have to move up.
Okay,
So
so
the number of times, I really can't tell you, but I believe it's
Yeah, another thing too, in those days you used to have competitions, and then between the competition was always knockouts.
knockouts.
yeah.
So it was continuously playing, so it was knockout championships, seasonal championships.
So you're
I
constantly
can't
saying
remember
shit.
all of those.
But numbers, but there were quite a few. But for me to put a number on it,
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult.
it's gonna be.
All right, all right.
What I found good about this, the Pelican Awards, getting back to that a little bit, is that I heard a lady on your program the other, I think last week, and she was talking about stats. And then I found out very important, not just because somebody was well known, but she actually went and she looked at stats and numbers, you know, so she got good data.
Yeah, we were lucky to have some. We were lucky to have some data.
You
Yeah.
find? Yeah.
Yeah, we have some data. The champion review books. We found we got.
Used to send out
Yeah,
champions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Had some good. Have some
Hey,
good
last time
data
I was
from.
here, you showed me that I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
But you have them in there.
I have some books here. I have a few years here. I have a few years. I have 1981. I have 83. I have 85. I have 88, 87, and 88. So they have some good statistics in it, man. You could see, and you got a good picture of how basketball was in back in the days. Some of the guys. There's a great story in one of those books about the rivalry actually between when he left. That's why I was able to talk as if I was there. When he left it from the rivalry. I think the rivalry started off with BBW and Traitors, and then it went to ball medalers from there, and the competition was between Marty Dookie, and then you have Bobby brought in Ansel Tico Cooper from Aruba, and I think Don brought in a point guard for the traitors. I think Dunky, and
Oh,
Yeah.
Donkey.
Dunky, and then the book also mentioned this guy from the Fireballs from the French side, Tampy.
I never got a chance to play against him.
No.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You didn't get a
he had
chance?
already left.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know,
Marty, but you remember a fellow used to play with you all called Norman? He had some.
Yeah,
little
no,
laugh.
from Aruba, yeah.
But he lived in the US. He used to live in the US.
To live in the U.S.
Norman was as slow as a turtle, but fundamentally sound. He would come and post you up in the box, and he used to shoot. He used to get you, put you on his hip, and always shoot this way. You remember that?
Yeah.
Smooth.
Baby hooked, baby hooked.
This other guy used to play with us on ball medals too, Bernard. I think the last name was Pemberton.
Bernard.
Came here a couple of years ago. He was an excellent player. He used to play with us on ball medals. He used to live up in Saunders or something. I think you would know his sister. Can't remember her name right off the bat now. But anyway,
This
those are all
Pemberton,
guys.
Pemberton has
But
sound, yeah.
a lot of guys playing
Yeah.
basketball was.
So David, let me ask you, you could, what would be your most fondest memory of a game, for example, that you played at an MPC? You can remember, let me take you back, see if you can remember anything from those days. Try to jog the memory, man. What was your a memorable game that you played at MPC back in the days?
Two of the most biggest games that I played was Rebels